is always this saying when it comes to the online MMORPG game of Runescape. Nobody ever quits Runescape, they just take breaks. Many players who find themselves logging back into old school Runescape, they oftentimes get hit with a wave of nostalgia and memories as they see the login screen and hear that opening music. Perhaps players will remember the first time they spawned into Lumbridge, the times they had leveling up their skills with their friends, or maybe they'll laugh at the first time they died in the wilderness and lost all of their belongings. There are many great memories that have happened in this game, but there are also some horrible moments as well. One unusual event took place on June 6, 2006, meaning if you wrote that date down on a piece of paper, it would look something like this.
Hold up, wait a minute. Something ain't right.
This was the day where a player was able to attack other players in areas that weren't PvP zones, meaning other players had no way of fighting back, which led to many of them dying and losing their items. These attacks took place in several locations. One deadly spot was in the city of Falador, where lots of players hung out. To this day, many players recall June 6, 2006, of the day where the Falador Massacre took place. Our story begins with the birth of a new skill in Runescape. The construction skill was just added to the game on May 31st, 2006. Since the skill itself was brand new and expensive to level up, no players had hit level 99 in the skill yet. That is until the player of Cursed You hit 99 in the skill of construction. It was then when he decided that he wanted to throw a party, where other players could check out what a level 99 construction house looks like. Everyone was eager to join in on the fun and explore Cursed You's house, where players could take part of mini games where they could fight one another, or maybe they just wanted to socialize and make friends. One of those players who attended Cursed You's house party was a player called Duriel321. His friend told him that Cursed You was having a house party, so he decided to attend as well. As waves of players entered into Cursed You's house, eventually, the lag became unbearable. Now keep in mind, this was back in 2006, so everyone was playing on PCs that had the power of a potato. It got to the point where Cursed You kicked everyone out of his house. Normally, the story should end there. But since the construction skill was still fairly new, there was a strange bug that occurred. Duriel321 was one of the few players in the dungeon that was inside Cursed You's house, which allowed for players to enter combat. After being kicked out of the house party, Duriel realized that he still had the option to attack others in the open world. He got excited about having this new power. It only took a matter of time before Duriel321 went on a rampage. Many of these players were unable to defend themselves because the game doesn't allow you to attack other players. But since Duriel321 had the glitch, he was free to slay others and take their loot. Once you die in Runescape, you drop a majority of your items. This is when panic ensued at the house portal in Rimington. From there, Duriel roamed to Falador, which was a nearby city that had services such as banks, shop vendors, and quests. He was guaranteed to find some players in Falador. You'll see in the footage that a huge mob of players from the party started to follow Duriel. It ended up drawing in a large crowd, so much so that some of the Jagex moderators were aware of the situation. "Bank your items! Bank your valuables! Everyone watch your health!" the moderators yelled in-game, advising others to take caution from Duriel's abnormal powers. Some players were confused. Why are there loads of players coming my way? Is this a draw party of some sort? Am I missing out on something? By the time some players connected the dots, it was already too late. Duriel continued to chase after and kill other players, from Elkers, random noobs, and others. His killing streak continued in the city of Falador, and eventually, Duriel ended up in a nearby town called Edgeville. After an hour of player killing, Jagex heard the alarm bells ringing, and finally ended the massacre by banning Duriel321. Eventually, Jagex issued a statement and an apology about the matter, since there was an overabundance of players trying to get their items back, with many of these players lying that they had lost items even though they didn't even get killed by Duriel. Jagex was unable to give back any items or roll back the servers. Eventually, a member of the RuneScape community was able to interview Duriel321 about the Falador Massacre. Duriel stated that, in the moment, he didn't think about other players. He didn't care about what they thought. He just wanted to kill. But the fact he was invincible and was allowed to prey on helpless RuneScape players made him feel bad. After receiving direct messages from other players asking for their expensive rare items such as Santa hats or party hats, one of those party hats being one of the items he looted from killing other players that day, he stated that if he had the ability, he would give back the items he took from those players. So every year when June 6 passes, many players remember the day of the Falador Massacre. Special thanks to my friend Abracw for dressing up as Duriel321 for this video. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, stay hydrated, gamers.